Back with Jasper football coach Tony Aarons. And coach, you opened the season with a big win over Memorial. Got off to a slow start, but overall, how'd the guys do?
Well, you know, we always rely on our defense to come in and play hard early in the season, and you know, giving up 19 points is a little bit rare for us, and to have our kids be able to bounce back and you know, pretty much even the score up by half and then come out in the second half. I think our conditioning played a critical role in this game, and it says a lot about how our kids train.
You get down 19-0. What are you guys talking about on the sidelines to your guys to get them going, and what were some of the things that happened to get in that deficit?
Well, you know, early we just gave up big plays, and you know, within minutes there's a score on the board, and at that point, you know, we got to figure out what it is we're doing, not what the opponent is. Are we doing the things that we need to do in order to, you know, get back in this game? And you know, you got to confront, you got to be brutally honest, you know, and you got to confront your players and what's happening, and the kids responded.
And you know, you don't make up 19 points on one play or one series. How did you go about getting back into the ball game? You know, play calling and how you guys went about things.
Well, you know, it says a lot about Coach Malk's been our offensive coordinator for some time now, and you know, he's got a good system, and it's a system that's, you know, repetitively been worked on, and at that point you got to rely on. You just kind of stick with your game plan. Don't get outside of and start thinking, oh, I gotta hit a big score quick. You just got to get in a situation and just play it one play at a time.
We talked about a lot of stuff that went wrong early in the course of the ball game. What did you like out of your team? Obviously, probably the comeback. What are some of the things you saw that you liked?
Well, you know, I think first of all, just the simple. The attitude issue. There's a lot. You know, high school kids, you get down that kind of. They start hanging their heads and, you know, maybe even a little pouting going on. These kids didn't do that. I mean, they stood up to the challenge. I mean, they came back, and that's an important factor to have within a team. And we're pretty proud of those guys for responding that way.
Your running game produced a lot of ball carriers. I know you like to have that depth, and that it showed the other night.
You know, we got several kids that we feel like are good running backs, and you know, maybe unlike years past where we put one guy in the backfield and expect him to carry the load. You know, we have Nick back there, and we have Ben Moore back there, and there's some other kids back there that are going to start getting some snaps. But that allows kids to stay maybe a little more fresh. You can talk to them a little bit, and pretty much rely on that offensive line to cut some seams up there.
And in the passing game, we talked about maybe Alice being a target a lot of times, but that leaves some other people open, and Hitchman had a nice ball game, and you're going to continue to work all those guys.
Well, we got two good tight ends. You know, we got a couple of other young guys that we're working with as well. And you know, I think Phil had a nice evening catching the ball and running routes, but he needs to, you know, thank Big Alice for that, because, you know, those guys they had their eyes on him all night, and it just takes all the attention away from anybody else on the field.
Well, after you play one game, you get some stuff on tape. What'd you guys talk about this week in practice as you go along here?
Well, you know, mostly about us. You know, the thing of it is, you know, from game 1 to game 2, you usually see a pretty good learning curve, and we're going to expect that out of these kids here, to figure out, number one, how to play the game, you know, how to line up, and your mental toughness and that edge that you have to start the game on. And then the other thing is, you know, assignments are critical. You know, we feel like our kids are going to play hard,
right?
But if an example would be, we wanted to run a post route down the middle, and our receiver ran a fade down the sideline. Well, the safety's jumping, and he didn't get over the top, and we can't do that. I mean, we got to do the things that we're coached to do, and if you do that, you know, we're going to have a lot more success.
What have you seen out of Southridge? Obviously, Kelly not there anymore. Scott Buning's in. What have you seen out of their team in their first game?
Well, you know, of course, they have the rest of their staff remaining, and you know, it's pretty much just they're going to keep things kind of as close, you know, to what they've been doing in the past, and maybe until they get a feel for what Coach Buning is really wanting. So they're going to come out and hit us with a wing tee, and they got some good backs. I tell you what, they got some kids that, you know, hit the hole hard and can get outside with some speed. So we're going to have to be a good, solid defensive team and pursue the ball. And you know, they're going to have a defense. They're going to bring some heat. So we got to be ready for their linebackers coming.
Obviously, a big rivalry game. What are the keys to you guys being successful, T?
Well, I think it. You know, you hate to say this, but it really gets down to our line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You know, how are they going to show up and how physical are they going to be? This is going to be a little bit more of a tighter ball game than what it was last week, as far as we're within between the tackles, and we're just going to have to win at the line of scrimmage.
Tony, as always, thanks a lot for your help, and it should be a lot of fun out here on Friday.
Yeah, our kids look forward to it. We do, and we appreciate it, Kurt.
All right, that's Jasper head football coach Tony Ahrens. We'll have more after this.